Okay. You want me to start then, Nana?
Yes, please. Welcome. Thank you,
Okay,
Shelley.
welcome everybody. This is going to be, I love this presentation all about staying active. And we talk about people who just, want to be able to do things as they age gracefully, to the weekend warrior. Yes, that says intense workouts there, but it can also be for just a general workout. People who like Zumba just want to keep moving, to that elite athlete. So there'll be a little bit of everything for anybody who's just staying active, which is what we want to do. We want to keep moving. Are we stuck here? There we go. Okay, so my name is Shelley Sheridan, and I am a teacher. I retired 5 years ago from the school boards. I was for phys ed, and also did a lot of coaching and playing of volleyball, curling, played in university. Very active living, as you can see there. Just love to be out doing a lot, whatever I can. And a picture on the bottom, Nada will be speaking as well, was during one of our conventions where we went fat tire biking. But always out to do whatever I want to do to stay active and just try something new. So as we all exercise and do different things, here's the things that affect our body, okay? When we exercise, it creates tremendous short-term damage at the cellular level. Inflammation occurs for all active people. Free radical production and damage much greater than for people who are non-active. Continuous exercise over training can compromise the immune system. Protein is lost as a result of exercise, stresses joints and tendons. So we really need to make sure that we increase specific nutrients, not only to be active, but also as preventative, and also looking at any type of recovery that we want to do for our bodies. So here's a few tips to kind of start out with. Number one is have a healthy breakfast. Don't skip it. Your body needs a good protein in the morning, as does your brain. Second is to stay hydrated. Water is so important. You can see there that it cushions your joints. It makes up 75% of your muscles, 22% of your bones. Just really important to have water and to hydrate all through the day, not just guzzling down. You want to do sips throughout the day. A third thing is to boost your immune system. The head trainer for the women's cycling team, Beth Juria, said that she encourages her teams to always look at whole grain carbs, lean proteins, colorful fruits and vegetables in all snacks and meals every day. The more color that you can have on your plate, the better it is. The other thing is to choose iron rich foods. And so, especially for women, that it's very often that athletes are deficient in iron, which could slow you down or increase your risk of injury in any sport. So be sure to include plenty of iron packed products such as oatmeal, red meats, spinach, into your diet. This is for the athlete, but it's also very good for anybody who wants to stay active. You need to have energy from the iron. Also looking at healthy meals. So you can see that those are really, really colorful, a nice variety. Some people like to cook a meal individually in a night or on a day, whatever you're eating. Some people like to do more of a meal prep where you prep on a Sunday for the whole week, just to make sure that you have a variety of foods and nutritious foods, not the processed ones. Because here's a picture, you are what you eat. So you get your fuel for your body and all your nutrients from what you're eating. You want to make sure that you're making good choices. And in 2019, the Canadian Food Guide was changed, which is so wonderful because you can see half of your plate is supposed to be vegetables and fruits, lots of different colors. Eat a protein for a quarter of your plate. You also have your whole grains for a quarter of your plate. We're going to talk a lot about the whole grains as well. And even the Canada Food Guide suggests making water your drink of choice, just for that hydration. So Nada, you also talk a lot about that Canada Food Guide as being so important and how it connects even to this study.
Yeah, and you know what, Shelley, I was introduced to Neil Life over 30 years ago. And, that's what drew me to the company was the whole grains and the story behind the whole grains and how that was one of the greatest deficiencies in our diet. And this is a recent study that was done in over, I think it was 190 countries. And they found that it's what we aren't eating that's killing us. And it was a global study. And when I started researching this and started supplementing with these key nutrients, that's where it completely changed my life, especially with hormonal balance and energy. But when you look at the studies, or the study that was published in Lancet, they talk about the deficiencies was whole grains, low fruit, nuts and seeds, low omega-3, and low vegetables. So these are the things that we're just not eating enough of. And these nutrients play a really big role with an athlete or anybody that's active or trying to stay active, and just to slow aging, which is really important. So recovery is the key to performance, right? So now when you exercise, it puts a lot of stress on the body, and you do need to rest to recover, right? And when you do that rest, it'll improve your performance. Okay. So athletes who improve or enhance recovery will improve performance. Athletes that do not fully recover enter their training or competition at a disadvantage. Okay. More rapid and complete recovery can help your immune function. I remember talking to some coaches when they were traveling, one of the Olympic coaches for the gymnastics team in Europe. And he said that one of the biggest challenges, the kids were always healthy when they were training at home, but when they were on the road, traveling and doing the different competitions, they were always sick because you're eating on the go, you're picking up fast food, especially if they were packaging food. So they noticed a big difference in the kids' immune system. So food is so important, especially during training. So how to help with your recovery? Immediately after you finish like a high intensity and or an endurance activity, within 30 minutes, you should consume something made with a mix of protein and carbs, like a whey protein, like a protein shake. This will help reduce muscle soreness and aid in your muscle recovery. And this was from Dan Bannerdott, a professor at Emeritus in Nutrition, Kinesiology, and Health at Georgia State University. Okay, so really important that you have a good quality protein within 30 minutes. In an article in the Canadian Running Magazine, they stated that most recovery shakes are made of whey protein. And chocolate milk contains less of the amino acid leucine than whey does. And many coaches, this is something that they promote their kids, young kids, to grab while they're in competition, during a tournament. They tell them, because they think, stay away from pop, grab a chocolate milk. Right, that's their, they think they're doing the kids a good deed, right? And it's not really the best thing to grab. Okay, it contains less of the amino acid leucine than whey does, and leucine stimulates protein synthesis to help with repairing muscles. And that's so important during exercise. Also, the primary carbohydrate of chocolate milk is lactose, which is absorbed slowly, and this is not optimal for replenishing muscles quickly. Okay, so not the best choice. You're better off having a good quality protein and carbohydrate from whey. So how can nutrition improve recovery? Well, specific nutrients are critical in the body's ability to recover and improve from stress of training, and deficiencies in certain nutrients can hinder the improvement of recovery and immune capacity. Okay, and it's because of our cells, right? And Neil Life has always focused on cellular health, right? The first to champion whole food supplements, that are based in nature and backed by science. You got to look at nourishing the cells, and this is the key. And the whole grains plays a really big role, because our grains today are no longer whole. They mill and process all of our grains. They remove what they call the lipids and phytosterols. These are the critical oils from the grain. And when they remove these oils, a lot of the nutrients are gone, and then they enrich the flour back again. So this was a very powerful article that was published, and I'm just going to read a quote from it. The marathon runners can recover more quickly without the acute inflammation associated with excessive physical stress when given a sterile enriched supplement. sterile, lipids and phytosterols. So powerful. In addition to demonstrating quicker recovery times, the athletes taking the sterile supplement had immune systems that were less compromised post-exercise than those of the athlete not taking the supplement. Okay, so this is very, very proud. This is from the Washington University, and it was an annual review of nutrition by Dr. Patrick Boich. So amazing. So, and that's really cool because these are the oils, the grain oils that are found in the husk of the grain that are no longer in our food. So where do we get these, right? So we need to find a way to supplement, and that's where Neolife comes in. And again, when I looked at Neolife over 30 years ago, I was kind of skeptical because I'd never taken supplements before. But when I started taking the supplements from Neolife, what a difference in my recovery, my sports performance. I was very physically active, more energy, mental clarity. But the problem was I was nervous to try supplements. And who do you trust? Who can you trust? And I'm going to have Mary Ellen Vandenbrink, a holistic nutritionist, join us this evening and just share some of the challenges we have when it comes to supplementation. Mary Ellen.
Thank you so much, Nada. And that is so true. There's so many problems out there in the supplement industry. And even when I took my holistic nutrition course, there's so many different products, and they have some that they call professional products, which is basically just the way they market the product. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a better product. So we put together a criteria to kind of determine what should you look for in a supplement, because as you can see here, hidden dangers lurk in these over-the-counter supplements. So this was a study from 2007 to 2016 that showed 776 products marketed as dietary supplements contain hidden active ingredients that are unsafe and unstudied. And that's why when I was taking supplements before Neolife, I wasn't getting very good results. I didn't understand the difference. I just thought, oh, it's in the drugstore, it's a good product, right? But when I was introduced to Neolife, I realized it was absolutely a name you can trust because it's made from whole foods. It's been around since 1958. They have a pharmaceutical license for manufacturing, and it's established in over 50 countries around the world. And they meet or exceed every health standard in every one of those countries. So it's very, very unique compared to a lot of the other products that are out there in the marketplace. And one thing you want to make sure is, are the products independently tested? So Neolife does a lot of work with the USDA, Center of Disease Control, New York Academy of Sciences. The products are independently tested and published in peer-reviewed journals, such as the American College of Nutrition. So you can be sure that 100% what's on the label is in the bottle and nothing else. And also what's in the bottle gets into the body. And the reason for this is because of the scientific advisory board. This just isn't a good-looking doctor who endorses the product. These are world-renowned scientists and researchers who are involved in the research and development. And it was founded by Dr. Arthur First, who is one of the top toxicologists in the world. And that's why these products are so pure, because he knew that toxins in products are not healthy for us to take every single day. And if you look at one of our newer scientific advisory board, Dr. Liz Applegate, and if anybody in the sports world is very familiar with her, she's written books such as Sports and Fitness Nutrition. She's nationally renowned expert on nutrition and fitness, a faculty member at the nutrition department and sports nutrition at the University of California, Davis, and has written numerous articles. And when she was approached by Neolife, she'd been approached by a lot of companies and she never would even think about looking at them. But when she saw this, the evidence-based research and the science behind our products, she thought that she felt very comfortable in partnering with Neolife. And Diane Clayton is another one of our scientists. She's a biochemist, nutritionist, health practitioner, and she walks the walk. You can see she's very physically active, and the same thing, she brings so much to Neolife Scientific Advisory Board as far as research and development. So when you look at what is a product made from, because a lot of things are natural, and you think natural can be anything from the ground. It can be algae, pine bark, but that's not what they're telling us we're missing in our diet. We're missing whole grains, fruits and vegetables, and wild salmon, according to that Lancet study. And that's what Neolife bases their products on, whole foods. And all the products are GMO free. So let's look at what supplements cannot do. They can't replace a poor diet. And our thing in Neolife is we always healthy diet, exercise, good quality water, and good supplements. They can't replace poor training. You still have to do the work, and they can't replace genetics because that definitely plays a role, especially in certain sports for sure. But what they can do is they can fill those nutritional gaps in the diet. And as Nada mentioned, when you're an athlete, you're breathing in 10 times more oxygen, 10 times more oxidative damage. You have much higher nutrient requirements than someone who's not an athlete. And although I'm not, don't do a lot of sports, I do a lot of fitness. And the reason for that is because, we're supposed to exercise. I do Zumba, I lift weights. And the reason I do that is want to be able to, take care, keep up with my grandchildren, to be able to move without pain. Because as we get older, that's very, very important. And, being fit, you just feel so much better. And supplements support tissue growth and repair, reduce inflammation, support recovery from training. They support our immune system because we don't want, if you train and get sick, it sets you back so far. It maximizes your training effort, and it also maximizes your natural potential, which is so, so important. And so now I'd like to introduce Shelley, because she's going to share with us how we can actually fill those gaps with Neolife's Pro Vitality.
Thanks, Mary Ellen. And this is something that really drew me to Neolife. I had been teaching health and nutrition for over 30 years. And when I heard about those grain oils, that really connected with me. So this is a way to fill the gaps, what Nada was talking about. We'll talk first about the green oval one called N. Those are the whole grains, lipids, and sterols. And we want to make sure that we are active because sitting is the new smoking. So we want to do whatever we can to be able to stay active. So what they've actually done in the 30s is milled out those grain oils. And even way back in 1994, Dr. Segal was saying that this would be perhaps the most important health problem in America because those grain oils affect our cells and how we absorb our nutrients and how well our cells work. So each TRINN, they help promote cellular energy and efficiency. It's equivalent to 35 pounds of whole grains in one of the boxes of Pro Vitality. It's gluten-free, it's GMO-free. It's what our cells need to be healthy. So if you can look at the cell on the left, that one's unhealthy. You can see the outside is not as malleable, so it's more difficult for nutrients to get in and turn into nutrition, and for the toxins and waste on the inside of the cells to get out. So when you look on the right side where we've given back the grain oils through TRINN, you can see how well our 72 trillion cells are working with nutrients getting in and the waste is getting out. And our cells are working better and we're not sluggish. Our hormones are balanced. Just our body is working the way that it's supposed to be working. So a study at Texas A&M University proved that with the TRINN, that nutrient utilization efficiency, which just means absorption, it went up 50%. So healthier cells, more energy to be able to be active, and balanced hormones. And once again, if we go back to that article that Nada was talking about, it helps recover more quickly. It helps keep the inflammation down for that excessive physical stress. The immune system is less compromised. So important to have those lipids and sterols back in our body. And I want to introduce Joan. She's a retired registered nurse. This is her husband, Winston, who is just going amazingly well with all the running and marathons and half marathons and everything that he's doing. So Joan, share what he has found, how the nutrients from Neolife have helped him.
Yeah, well, Winston, around 2000, he was coaching my daughter's ice hockey team, and his skates got stuck in a rut in the in a so he ran into the rink boards, and he cracked his kneecap, his patella. He was able to recover completely using the Neolife products, and since then he has done 14 half marathons since that time. And during that period, he had taken a 2-year break, and after the break, he signed up for the 30-day and 90-day challenge. He was able to take 4 minutes off his last time, and he won the 90-day challenge. And some of the products he took the equivalent of the breakfast pack with extra salmon oil for recovery, and also Liver Plus C, which is now called Endurance. And he took and vitamin E for endurance, and also some extra Neolife shakes, especially after a run. I think at that time he didn't have the performance shake. And he also took aloe vera drink for his water, for the electrolytes. And that basically was his program. And he still runs today, but he hasn't run half marathon in a while. But he continues to run.
That's fabulous. So thank you so much, Joan. Yeah, he's an inspiration to all of us to keep moving and stay active. So the carotenoids is the black supplement that you see, and the carotenoids are powerful antioxidants that help repair the damage from their free radicals, and that's what Mary Ellen had been talking about as well. And they help repair the mitochondrial damage on the inside of the cell from aerobic respiration. So as we're breathing, that's affecting our mitochondria. So we have to keep repairing all this stuff in our bodies. Supports the body's mechanism to maintain strong immune capacity during periods of intense training and stress. Really important to keep our immune boosted. So the carotenoid has been tested by the USDA and CDC, and it was proven to boost the immune system when you take 3 a day, 37% in 20 days. And it was been published as well in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, as well as presented at the New York Academy of Sciences. It's patented. It is so powerful. It's like having 80 pounds of raw fruits and vegetables in the 30-day pack. So important to fill that nutrition gap for the vitamins and minerals. And the reason is that each cell takes 10,000 hits of free radicals every single day. So if it's unprotected, then our cells aren't able to rebound. People get sick while they're trying to, be active, or if they're an athlete while they're trying to perform. I remember so many times as a curling coach or even as a spectator is we would see, one team would get sick and then it would get passed through the rink because immune systems were so low. We have to keep boosting it up. On the right side has the high fruit and vegetable diet to help protect our cells. So once again, the study showed an increase of 37% in 20 days when you take 3 of them a day. The salmon oil, oh my goodness, this is one of my favorite products. And I was always very active, and when I was a teenager, I had to get my knees scoped because I had issues with my knees. I had pain in it, and everything was fine until I hit my 40s. And then all of a sudden I was having pain again. And that's when I actually was introduced to Neolife through NADA, and going on one of the products that we'll mention a little later called the Full Motion. That helped me to get back active again. And then bringing in this omega-3 salmon oil plus, a huge difference. I used to wear braces on my knees, and over the year I was able to decrease my inflammation, so I didn't even wear my braces anymore. And 12 years later I still don't wear my braces. And on the recovery side, 4 months ago I broke both my bones in my leg. And because I've been on the products now for 12 years, my recovery was amazing. I took more of the Full Motion. I took more of the salmon oil. The protein shake that Nada's going to be talking about just helped to speed up the recovery. The carotenoids as well I was on. So I was able to mend my bones in 7 weeks. The surgeon said I was good to go. I didn't need my cast anymore. And I am recovering extremely quickly. So many people, doctors, nurses, physiotherapists, everybody has said my inflammation is, wow, you don't have much. I mean, I have some obviously, but I don't have as much as they've seen. Like, what in the world are you doing? Well, this is what I'm doing. All 8 of those omega-3s make a huge difference as an anti-inflammatory. A lot of companies just put 2 in, the EPA and the DHA. Neolife has all 8. And it's tested for over 200 contaminants with a 0 level for any contaminants, which was good because I was taking quite a few. I don't want to put toxins back into my body. Pure Atlantic cold pressed fish, an amazing product. And there you can see all 8 of the omega-3s and this is why it's an anti-inflammatory. So when your body is inflamed, just from whatever it happens to be, whether it's stress, whether it's exercise, whether it's an injury, whatever it happens to be, we need to control that and decrease it. And that's by the omega-3s in our diet and filling the gap with supplements. So once again, it brings down, when you take 3 a day, it brings down the inflammatory index 68% in 8 weeks. It also helps the heart, reduce triglycerides 17%, improves the omega-3, which is the anti-inflammatory, omega-6 is the inflammatory, improves that ratio by 43%. So absolutely amazing for healthy joints, muscle soreness, even exercise induced asthma decreases by using the salmon oil. The fourth supplement in that pack is our essential vitamin and mineral complex. It nourishes the cell. It's more than just the multi. It gives you the 21 micronutrients that your body can't make, that you have to get from your diet. And it includes some phytoenzymes just for that easy digestion as well. And Nada, you've had to use the salmon oil a few times with your boys with being
Yeah, salmon and protein. Oh my gosh, all the products for sports recovery. So they both were very active in their young age. They both played basketball and football. And the injuries that kids occur, oh my gosh, during these sporting events. But I was so grateful that they were happy that they had something to depend on and look forward to. And, you know, even concussions. I mean, Luke had a really bad injury snowboarding, and he fell on his face and his eye pushed back, and they thought he'd need surgery, and it was awful. And I remember when we increased all the products and we went back to sick kids for regular appointments, they would just keep saying, I don't think your son's going to need any surgery. He's healing so perfectly. So that happened several times. And Jack with basketball with a lot of, not a lot of, I think he had two concussions playing basketball and recovered incredibly. And then ankle injuries for Luke. They said one of his football games, first football game of the season, they said he'd be out the entire season. First game of the season, he was back to playing a full game 2 weeks. And even the trainer could not believe his recovery. They said, whatever your son is doing is absolutely crazy. So he just increased the salmon oil, full motion, protein a little more during the day. And the recovery was just fantastic. So grateful for these products. Thank you.
Do you want to continue on then?
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you, Shelley. Yeah. So when we talk about protein in the Pro Vitality pack, they come in this convenient pack called a breakfast pack. So I'm going to be talking now a little bit more about the protein, because the protein needs are really, really high, especially for adults over 19 years of age. Even with little or no exercise, they need 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram, or 0.36 grams per pound of body weight per day. Okay. The protein need for the average adult is between 0.8 to 1.3 grams per kilogram, or 0.36 to 0.6 grams per pound of body weight per day. So this means the ages between 56 and 91. This means 56 to 91 grams per day for the average male, and 46 to 75 grams per day for the average female. Okay. So I find that trying to figure this out and trying to guess how much protein you're getting, I find that taking the Neo Life Shake is just a great way. It's like a health insurance to make sure you're getting these good quality proteins. And the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, Dietitians of Canada, and the American College of Sports Medicine recommended 1.2 to 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day for athletes. Depending on training, protein intake should be spaced throughout the day and after workouts. And I remember, I think even Dr. Liz Applegate was saying that each snack should be at least 20% protein. So not just carbohydrates. Okay, so really important that you have that proper balance throughout the day. Endurance athletes, they have the highest needs, okay? So that's why quality of protein is so important. And the Neolife Shake is quality protein, all natural. It's a complete protein, all 22 amino acids. It has a score called PDCAS, Protein Digestibility Amino Acid Score. A 1 is a perfect score, and the Neolife Shake is a 1.73. So very high, which means it's easy to digest, because a lot of proteins are really hard for the body to break down. Again, 18 grams of protein, taste absolutely delicious. You will find a favorite, whether it be vanilla, berry, or creamy chocolate. And it has the branched chain amino acids, 5 grams of fiber, 25 essential vitamins and minerals, and whole food antioxidants. So it is a meal replacement. And it does have that glycemic control technology to keep the blood sugar in that glycemic control zone. So fabulous for, especially if athletes struggle with diabetes. This really helps them with their performance because it helps to keep that blood sugar normalized throughout the day. And no artificial anything. No high fructose corn syrup, no preservatives, no gluten, no cholesterol, no saturated fats or hydrogenated fats, and is 90% lactose free, and no GMO ingredients. And then we have our performance protein that came along a little bit later and added to the Neolife program. It's an exclusive protein blend as well. It does have the amino acids, 26 grams of protein when you mixed it with a non-fat milk. It does have 5.7 grams of the BCAAs, and that helps with the lean tissue and muscle building that athletes are really looking for. 2.6 grams of leucine, optimal muscle regeneration and retention. Again, what athletes are really looking for. And 5.1 grams of glutamine and glutamic acid, which helps with cellular metabolism, neurotransmission, and immune competence. So again, right, athletes, when they're under a lot of stress, it suppresses their immune system. So this is really, really important to keep their immune system strong so they can perform at the level that they want to perform. And biologically complete with all 22 amino acids, has 25 essential vitamins and minerals. Again, extra chromium and magnesium, which is really important for high performance athletes as well. Has that honey fruit, a sweetener, protein sparing carbohydrates with a ratio of 1:1, Protogod process, which again makes it easy to digest. It does have some natural enzymes to help with digestion. No artificial anything, no sweeteners, no flavors, no additives. A lot of your performance products that are out there do have a lot of things in there that I say wouldn't be safe for kids, whereas this is even safe for your younger athletes as well. So because it's completely natural. Again, has that same technology, that glycemic control response to regulate our blood sugar. So what's really important too, especially if you're looking at professional athletes, no potentially dangerous stimulants, okay? No artificial anything, no artificial colors, flavors, sweeteners, or preservatives, guaranteed to be free of any substance, currently banned by the National Collegiate Athletic Association, International Olympic Committee, and World Anti-Doping Agency. So this is something that we do have a letter from Neolife. So if you do have some professional athletes that are looking at, adding this to their program, we do have a letter that we can provide as well. And I am going to be sharing a quick little video with you that I thought you'd appreciate with one of our athletes that joined us last year. I'm here with Ryan. Some of you have heard me mention his name, our new athlete that John Landolfi introduced me to. And he's only been using the Neolife products for a couple of weeks now and is having really, really good results. And is excited now to share these products with people and get involved in our business to really have an impact in other athletes. So maybe just share a little bit about your experience and maybe some of the injuries that you have and how the products have helped you.
Yeah, so since I've been using the products for about 2 weeks now, I've been using the vitamin pack for vitality and magnesium, full motion, and a lot of the salmon oil, and it's been doing a lot of beneficial things to my body. I've recently had a little bit of a hamstring tweak because of all the sprint training and all the Olympic lifting that I've been doing. And with steady sleep and with using the vitamins, it's been doing my body really well.
So the recovery is happening, the sleeping is happening, and your trainings are really intense.
Yeah.
And you're looking forward to even longer use and sharing these with other athletes, which is awesome. Thank you.
It's really beneficial for athletes. So you guys, get on it.
So that's Ryan. He's still enjoying the products. It's been awesome. And unfortunately, all the football programs were stopped and on hold for a little while there. But he did share that he's hoping to get back and continue sharing the products with athletes. And let's just pray that things open up and he can continue on and share the Neolife products. So thank you.
Nada, can I just mention too, I mean, we talk a lot about athletes, but you use it as a recovery. I use it as a recovery as well. And just because it's such a great product, right?
Yeah. And you know what, Shelley, you even taught me a neat trick because I have the Neolife shake in the morning for breakfast, and I like it in a full smoothie, and I drink it. I put my berries and greens in there. And sometimes I'll have the Neolife at the sport performance protein in a shaker cup and just with water and ice and just drink it, or with an almond milk or oat milk. But lately you got me hooked on putting 2 scoops in a little bit of yogurt and making a pudding, because sometimes I just feel like, you know, eating something. So that has been a favorite. And I put some fresh blueberries or even frozen blueberries on that, and I'll have that as an amazing snack. So there's different ways that you can do the sports performance protein. But yeah, it is a product that I introduced as soon as Neolife did launch it, because I knew the importance of, you know, even though I'm not a high-end athlete, it's still important to have a good quality protein after exercise. Thanks, Shelley. You guys can see the screen now?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to make sure that we're on. Hang on. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to have Mary Ellen Vandenbrink back with us and share a little bit more about some of the other products that we have to offer.
Yeah, there's a lot of support products out there, and just to give you an example, my neighbor across the street, she her dog ran, and a big dog, and broke her leg right under the kneecap. And anyway, she was just devastated. And so I said to her, I said, you know, well, you know, you definitely need the protein because you need the repair. You need the calcium, magnesium. That's a product we haven't talked about tonight, but that's very important for the bones. And I also put her on salmon oil to reduce the inflammation, because if you don't reduce inflammation, you can't heal. And she just sent me a text today. In fact, she went to her specialist, and she said, the good news is the fracture has completely healed. The break is barely visible. And that was from her orthopedic specialist. So again, depending on what your needs are, you know, like we have lots of products like, you know, especially if you're, you know, dealing with stomach issues, or especially I find a lot of runners get a lot of reflux. So that's an issue that a lot of them get, and that's where the aloe is very helpful for that. So again, and we've got some more products now. If you change the screen.
Do you want to call maybe Heather at this time, or no? Was that later?
Sure, we can call Heather. Would you like to share, Heather? You've got an amazing story on sports.
You know what? It's my fault. No, go ahead, Mary Ellen. Sorry. Let me just get to. Oh, there we go. Go for it. Sorry.
If you look at the cell, and you get these free radical oxidation and inflammation, well, in the center of you'll have to keep flipping it, Nada, is the mitochondria. And that's that powerhouse energy source for the cell. So you think about it, if you're an athlete, one of the most important things you need to do is be producing energy in your cells all the time. But what happens is, as we get age, that we naturally lose the CoQ10 levels. So as you can see, even as young as like 20, you've lost half your normal dose. And other things that interfere with it is if you like even take things like aspirin or cholesterol medications or anything like that, you actually stop the pathway, which is even worse. And so here's what happens in modern health reality. You take a food molecule, you need the coenzyme 10, because that actually is a coenzyme and produces energy in the body. And that's what happens in the inner membranes of the cell. So this is where Neolife brought out their CoQ10. And I was so excited when they brought it out. I've been asking for quite a while, like, why don't we have a CoQ10? And they said, we cannot find a food-based source. And until we can find a natural source, we're not going to bring it out. Well, they did find a food source, and this product is so incredible. It absorbs in your body in 2 minutes. And it's great for people who suffer from migraines, from you recover faster, all sorts of different benefits. And things too that are very helpful for athletes are other antioxidants is vitamin E. And Joan talked about with Winston, how he took that for the energy. And it has the tocopherols and tocotrienols and ascorbic acid critical for repair of free radical damage from exercise. And they're also very important for immune response. And the difference with the Neolife vitamin E, it has all 8 parts. Most vitamin E's out there have 1 part, alpha tocopherol, and oftentimes it's synthetic if it says DL beside it, where Neolife is just like food. It has all the 4 tocopherols and tocotrienols. And another important antioxidant for athletes is vitamin C, because it supports the body's ability to repair cellular damage from intense training. It maintains optimum immune capacity. You see that immune factor is so important, they keep repeating it. Helps with post-exercise muscle soreness and joint integrity, because you need vitamin C for collagen. So you can't produce it. And the Neolife vitamin C contains all the naturally occurring phytonutrient elements equivalent to 4 tree-ripened oranges. You get everything but the water. And I know when I took a course by Paul Pitchford in Whole Foods, he said 10 milligrams of whole food vitamin C is so much more powerful than even 1,000 of straight ascorbic acid. Now, Nada, would you like to share your friend Debbie Abbott's story?
Sure. Deb and I, we rode motorcycles on the police force, and I stopped riding. And a few years later, Deb was in a serious motorcycle crash on duty. Her foot was severed. They did pin it back, and they told her that she might have a club foot. They didn't think her foot would take. And it was amazing. She'd already been on the Neolife products for a couple of years prior to the accident, which I think played a really big role in her recovery. But when she was in the hospital, I just remember her calling me and saying, just bring it on, Nat, as she just said. And, we started her on a protocol with extra salmon and full motion and protein and zinc. And I contacted Dr. Arthur first, because he was around those days, and he just said, whatever, that's an awesome program for healing and repair. And her recovery was exceptional. Even protein, she was drinking that a couple of times a day. They told Debbie that she would need several skin grafts. Not one skin graft was done, not one. And her ankle healed amazing. You can tell it's a little swollen even to this day. This is like 20 years later now, but it was amazing because full motion was being launched. And this was a few months actually after the accident. And then they asked me if Deb would be a test study. And she gladly offered to try the products for a few months. And in a very short time, the mobility in her ankle started to improve. And then she was able to do like a light jog. And they told her she'd never be able to put that kind of pressure on her ankle. So the repair was amazing. Tissue repair, the bone repair, everything was just fantastic. And to this day, she notices that she doesn't take her fish oil and glucosamine. There's still a little bit of inflammation and pain because she has a pin holding her ankle. So she'll always have a little bit of discomfort, but nowhere to a point where she can't function and still do some physical activities. So it's been amazing. So thank you for having me share that story. And then talk a little bit more about recovery and sports products. So we do have the sports protein, but then there's a couple of other additional products for athletes that need that little extra edge. And it's funny because the endurance product is something that I used when I was working shift work, because it helps with energy and helps to circulate oxygen to your muscles and to your brain so that you don't have that kind of foggy fatigue. But for athletes, it's phenomenal while they're training or they're doing like running or swimming, like long distance stuff. Again, really fabulous for anti-fatigue, has vitamin C, bioflavonoids. It has a special protective coating. So even if people like are anemic or low iron, this would be an amazing product to add onto their program. And then we have some recovery products like Biotone, which supports muscle retention and lipid mobilization. And it's designed to work while you sleep. So you take this just before you go to bed, and it does help to support restful sleep. Then we also have a performance pack. And a lot of our athletes like this, again, because it's a convenient pack, kind of like the Pro Vitality. So we call this a stack on product, okay? This is something you would add on to the breakfast pack if you're really needing that extra performance in high-end performance. So there's 2 endurance in this pack, 2 Chelsea M tablets, a Sport B and C, which are time-release nutrients, and a selenium vitamin E. So again, just a convenient pack to give a little bit more for the athlete that needs more protection. And now, Shelley, I get to call you back to talk a little bit about our athletic program and the website that we have to offer.
Yeah, we have great websites and information, but I think since we've talked about such a variety of the different products, I know that Heather has used several of these products just to stay active as she's gracefully aging. So if she'd love to come on and tell her testimonial, because she's very, very active throughout the day.
Okay, thank you. I am happy to share my story tonight. My story actually is about stamina, strength, and speed. Currently, I'm 68 years old. I will be 69 next month. And I've been taking the Neolife supplements for 23 years. My favorite sports are golf, curling, Nordic pole walking, and snowshoeing. So a couple of years ago, I'd been doing a snowshoe race, a 5K snowshoe race for about 4 years now. And a couple of years ago, I took 7 minutes off my time from what it was the year before. And so I was down to 58 minutes versus 65 minutes the year before. And I was taking already the basic breakfast pack, the CoQ10, Salmon Oil Plus, and Full Motion, Extra Cal Mag and Magnesium, and of course my Aloe Vera Plus, right? That's sort of my usual thing. But what I did was 2 months before the race, I added Phytodefense, Acidophilus, and Garlic Allium. Now, these haven't been talked about yet, but why I did that was the year before, I had been getting over a bad cough and a cold just leading up to the race, which is in February every year. And I knew that my energy had suffered. So to improve my training and my performance on race day, I wanted to stay healthy right through the winter. So I really added extra to take care of my immune system. And then in my training, I added the sport pack. So I'm really glad that you just talked about that. I added that to the nutrition program. I'm absolutely certain it helped with my stamina. The race is actually 5.4 kilometers over very hilly terrain, and it includes about a 110-foot hill, which is the side of a former gravel pit. So it is steep. And the overall elevation gain is 54 meters. So we go up and down several hills, and this is in snow with snowshoes, right? And previous years, I'd had to stop a couple of times to catch my breath. But that year, I didn't stop. I'm not a runner. I've never, been a runner, but I was able to jog on the downhills and the flat sections and keep up a really good pace on the uphills. So like everybody else, I add a year to my age every year, but my results show that with Neolife, it's possible to age not just gracefully, but with vitality. And here's a little footnote. I continue to take the endurance product every day, along with my regular routine supplements. It's part of the sport pack, but you can get it separately as an endurance product. I think it helps me get through those busy days when I'm with my 2- and 4-year-old grandchildren. And so for anybody who's looking for improved training, stamina, and sport performance, I really recommend the whole food supplements from Neolife. They really, really help you do your best. And it's just more fun when you can do your best and not keel right over from fatigue.
That's great. Thanks, Heather. You're a real inspiration. You really are when I see all the how active you are and how well you're doing. So thank you so much for sharing. So if you want to learn more about the different athletes who use Neolife, this is a website, neolifeathletes.com, that you can Google and check out. And then we also have other websites as well, which will go on a little bit later. But if you're curious at all how to get these products, because you'd like to try something or learn more about it, we do have a wellness club, which is free to join. And it allows you to get some discounts. So 15 to 30% off, depending on how you want to purchase it. We do have a convenient monthly delivery right to your door, which gives you a 25% off then. And because we want your body to adjust and to build over a 6-month period, you then get all of your shipping back as part of a loyalty program that we have. There's also an option when you see how well you're feeling and doing with these products, when you share like you would a good book, there's an option to get some of your products for free. And we do have a fitness challenge as well as a weight loss. So we're chatting a little bit more about fitness here, that like Winston, and he won the fitness challenge. So another option just to encourage you to stay active and be your best. So we always want to start our day healthy with the breakfast pack. That's 30 of those Pro Vitality, which we had chatted about, as well as a serving of the shake that Nada had gone over. So you can see you can get the Pro Vitality individually on its own as a box, or you can get it as a breakfast pack with one shake, or if you want 2 shakes a day, then you can do the Shape Up pack down at the bottom. And as I had mentioned, when you share it with others, you can get them for free. If you want to learn more about and see some of the science and more testimonials, ask the person who invited you to this to add you to the Neolife Healthy Living community. It's a private group, but amazing, amazing testimonials, interviews, science on this website, or on this Facebook group. And there's one more option. If you're somebody who enjoys helping others, as we do, and it was something that I wasn't looking for. I just wanted health for myself and my family. But over time, as an educator, when I found something that really worked for me, I wanted to share it with others. So you are welcome to ask questions about that as well. It's called being a promoter, and for less than $100, you can earn whatever you would like. You know, $100 a month, 500, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, depending on what you would like. So another option to help us share the word about Neolife. And we do have another Facebook group called The Ideal Business, where you can hear from a variety of people who have been with the business from everything from a couple of months right up to, oh my goodness, 5 generations. So 30, 40 years with this company, because once you see what the products can do for your health and your family and friends, you stick with it because they work, because there's science behind it. So if you are somebody who just wanted products discount or for free, then fabulous. Chat with the person who invited you. If you're looking for part-time or professional income, that's another option that we'd love to help you out with and join our amazing community. And if you just came to learn and to be educated and learn some new information, we thank you for joining us on this call. Know that it is recorded, that you can share it with any of your friends who weren't able to join us tonight. So we're going to unmute this now and then have a Q&A at the end and just answer any of your questions.